Hey, it's Dino. What's going on? Welcome to Dino Brickhaven. Putting together the Lego set, Nightmare Before Christmas, set 21351. Halloween. I did a little bit of putting together while while I wasn't streaming, and I also got a haunted house in the mail that I will be putting together after this. And I may put the haunted house in the amusement park. I'm not sure. I know I started a little earlier today, about an hour early, but oh well. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys what I did, what I've built. I got through the first building except for this last bag, little things in the front of this. But man, look at, I am going to do some up close shots. Listen, I know it's going to take a few for people to get over here, but I'm going to show them anyways. Here's Santa Claus. Is the last one I made off camera, off stream. Pretty cool. I like that. I want it to be Christmas time already now. No, I want it to be Halloween. So Santa, I will show again the mayor, which really unique way to put this together for a minifigure. Okay, come on, focus in. There you go. Really cool way they did that. I love that. I love the mayor. The mayor is good. And I got lock, shock, and barrel. Of course, I guess I'll do the bathtub first, just to catch you guys up. Come on, focus in. What's wrong with you? There you go. The bathtub looks excellent. I love the way they did this bathtub. Oh, a leg is crooked. So there you go. And of course the other two figures. This almost reminds me of Heath Ledger's Joker a little bit. I think that's really cool. And the other one, there you go. Good makeup job or whatever on the faces. I like these. So I will put these off to the side and I will begin to build. Oh no, I gotta show you guys and I'm sorry, hopefully I'm close enough to the mic that the other sound isn't getting to you, because I've got an air purifier, just to keep as much dust out of the Lego as possible, and I put it up and I forgot to turn it down. So I'm gonna leave it. Anyways, the roof I put on because the roof was on fire. What's going on? This is live, right? Just making sure there is one person here. You know, the other thing I'm going to do is this may be the last. No, I'm just joking. I don't know. Here, I'll take the roof off, and when you take the roof off, which is kind of a cool little build here. The attic has some Christmas gifts kind of hidden there. Wait, am I live? Connie, type something if I'm live. It's weird to just, okay, I see 4 here now. I guess maybe something's wrong with YouTube. Who the heck knows? 3, 4. Anyways, let me get a close-up of the inside here. I love the front of this building. I really do. The front of this building is just so cool. What I'm going to do now is put this little fountain type thing for Halloween here. The stickers went on pretty good too. 35 days to Christmas, and the clock was a sticker. There's not a whole lot of stickers, but there are some. And there's hidden presents up in the attic. A wreath, a stocking, a present, and a spider. So there you go. And the back is just like some kind of unique gravestone in there, which is kind of unique. A gravestone table, or the pedestal. I'm sorry, the what do you call that? The pedestal. YouTube is being funky. Yeah, I see that. I see that with the chat. It's really odd. But anyways, listen, I kind of showed you guys what I did. I'm going to put the roof back on and hope to, not hope, I'm going to start working on this last bag, and then we will get started with the second building here, which that's going to probably be my favorite to build, I'm thinking, but who knows. I'm a big kid. Hey, Red, what's going on? Good to see you, Red. Harry, Bubba, if you come back and if you're here. But yeah, little wonky. 3 viewers, 4 viewers. Nevertheless, I'm going to continue. I am going to build this. And I gave myself an extra hour so that I can try to get as much of this done as possible. I need to start putting in a little bit more time. So there you go. While I do this, we will start to look. And you know what? There are going to be some upcoming Lego City updates. I'm not going to do a full-on tour, but there's going to be some updates coming. So stay tuned for that. While I do this, please make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. Comment after, all that good stuff. While we do this, I am going to play some CBS Radio Mystery Theater. So there you go. You know, it's funny, I'm doing 2 different builds at the same time. I won't say what else I'm building, but I'm doing them both. It's kind of fun that way, alternating between 2 different sets building. And I wanted to get most of all of this on camera during the stream, so that is what I'm going to do. But anyways, let me get to CBS Radio Mystery Theater, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. This is a later one from the 1980s, March 12th, 4 days after my birthday, 1980. I am going to play The Secret of the Fifth Bell. I don't hear this one too often. And over on the Late Late Horror Show, my other channel, CBS Radio Mystery Theater Night. So there you go, here and there. The Secret of the Fifth Bell. Here we go. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Creaking door. Perfect for this. Jojo is here. Jojo is here. Hold on. Let me stop again. Jojo, good to see you. Good to see you, Jojo. Gonna have to make you a... Oh, you are... You got the wrench. You got my wrench. What are you gonna do with it? Anyways. Okay, calm down, Dino. Anywho, let's listen to CBS Radio Mystery Theater, The Secret of the Fifth Bell, while I start to build and tinker around with these little things. Enjoy. What a strange. Yeah, come in, please.
Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. The Orient and Oriental ways have always been a puzzle to the West. The shrines, tea houses, ancient rites, pagodas in Kyoto, the Hall of Dreams, the amalgam of art and artifacts, all having dark and sealed meanings, most of which escapes us, as it did Franklin Phillips, who thought a curse was a blessing in disguise.
Can I show you something in antiques?
A few weeks ago, you sold a Japanese temple gong to my wife.
I never sold it. I never had such a thing in my store.
Of course you sold it. Remember? Japanese, 6 bells on a silken cord.
I never had such a thing in my life. What are you talking about?
Japanese store, I had no idea.
It. You are in the wrong store.
Our drama, The Secret of the Fifth Bell, was adapted from a story by Jacques Futrell, especially for the Mystery Theater by G. Frederick Lewis, and stars Earl Hammond. It is sponsored in part by True Value Hardware Stores. I'll be back shortly with Act One. We're about as far from the humble worship of Buddhism as time, place, and intent can take us. But before this story is done, we shall be drawn back to that ancient worship. At this moment, however, our concern is with a mansion on the northeast coast, particularly with its owner, who sits astride shipping lines, oil fields, factories, and stock exchanges like a colossus, wielding the dollar wand over an empire. Meet Franklin Phillips, whose wife softly enters the great man's study and kisses him.
Oh, Norma, sweetheart. What a nice surprise to see you in the middle of the day.
Oh, Frank, dear, did you think I'd forgotten your birthday? I know you don't like being disturbed when you're working at home, but this once I shall.
By golly, I'm 50 years old today.
And I have a present for you. Giles, bring in the box.
Happy birthday to you, Mr. Phillips.
Set the box right here on his desk, Giles. I'll open it.
50 years. Yeah, that's half a century.
Oh, you Methuselah.
It's half a century. Oh, jeez.
Temple bells. Giles, give Mrs. Phillips a hand. She'll never be able to lift those. 6 of them, all tied together, all different sizes. Hold them up high, Giles.
Yes, sir.
Oh, they're bronze, aren't they?
Yes.
Norma, I've never seen anything like them. Sort of inverted bowls hung one on top of the other.
And very, very old. Oh, look at the workmanship, Frank. That lovely design. You know, what attracted me was a circle with 3 dots inside and 3 rays extending from it. Oh, which bell was it on? Can you spot it, Frank?
There it is, Norma. The circle with the 3 rays at the bottom of the 5th bell.
Ah, yes.
Norma, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever received. It's worth being half a century old for.
Oh, come now.
We'll hang it right up here in front of the west window, where I can always see it from my desk. Norma, to you goes the honor of striking the 1st bell. Here's a letter opener.
It's the 5th bell that intrigues me.
Giles, hold the bells higher, please.
Yes, sir.
All right, here goes.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's fantastic. Giles, what is it that Kipling said?
Oh, Frank, aren't you asking a little much of your administrative secretary?
Oh, Giles will know. He knows everything.
Well, at least let him put the bells down on your desk before his arm falls off. They're heavy.
May I, sir? Yes, well, I think the phrase Mr. Phillips was referring to is east is east and west is west, and never the twain shall meet.
Of course. And these bells prove old Rudyard was wrong. They suit me perfectly and will look great hanging up here.
Well, I haven't the faintest idea where they're from. Neither did the lady who sold them to me. She just knew they were very, very old.
Any ideas, Giles?
Well, I would venture to say, sir, they are ancient Japanese, probably early 7th century, and most likely hung in one of the temples of the Horyuji at Nara.
Giles, come in here.
Yes, what is it, sir?
It just rang. Twice.
What did?
One of the bells there from where it's hanging.
Well, maybe the breeze from the window caught it.
There. You see, it did it again. You were right here, Giles. You heard it.
Strange. Do you know which bell was rung?
No, I'm not sure.
Well, why don't we try them all, one at a time? Then we'll know which one it was.
Oh, do come in, Frank. Dinner will be ready when our guest arrives.
Let me sit
I
down
already
a moment.
dropped some.
Oh, what is it, dear?
I gotta go under the
Not like you
table.
to break off from work this early? Has anything gone wrong?
No, nothing's gone wrong. Business is booming, but...
But what?
Well, can you tell me where you got that Japanese gong?
I hate when that happens.
Well, of course I can. It's been in the window of this curio shop, and I've been passing it for months on my way to the community fund. So, one day I just went in and bought it. The shop's called Wagner's. It's on Cranston Street. An old German lady runs it. Why?
Did you pay a lot for it?
Oh, do you think I'm going to tell you? I'd say enough, but not too much.
Well, I was just wondering how valuable it is.
Well, I like that. I never ask you how much you spend for my presents. But it'll be easy enough to find out what it's worth tonight, won't it?
It will?
Well, certainly, dear. Have you forgotten? We have Mr. Okumatsumi from your Japanese electronics subsidiary coming for dinner.
Oh, it completely went out of my head.
Having some
beautiful
shark for
planet.
dinner. Woo!
Yeah.
You're Mrs. Wagner.
Yeah. Elizabeth
Don't let it
Wagner.
bite back.
Can I show you some antiques?
Well, a few weeks ago, you sold a Japanese gong. Actually, 6 bells, different sizes, on a silken rope.
I never sold it. I never had a Japanese gong in my shop.
Well, of course you sold it. Do you understand? Japanese 6 bells on a
No.
silken cord.
I never had such a thing in my life. What are you talking about? I tell you, I never sold it. You were in the wrong store.
Excellent feed, Mrs. Phillips. My compliments.
Oh, Mr. Matsumi, our pleasure. I'm always delighted when a guest eats everything on his plate.
Most satisfying. You have very tasty fat partridge in your country.
By the way, Matsumi, there's something I'd like to show you. Join me in my study, will you? How about some more sake?
No, thank you. When I travel,
Yes,
I
more
prefer
sake.
Scotch.
Well, Scotch we have, too. This is my study. I handle all my business from that desk. Different color phones, different color businesses.
So very color. Those beds hanging by the window.
Ah, you spotted them?
Where did you get them?
You like them? They're a present from my wife.
Excuse me. May I ask for silence, please?
Matsumi, why do you do that?
I beg your pardon?
Bowing down before the bells and then putting your right hand out and up as if making some symbol in the air.
Honored Phillips, my good friend, you could not understand significance even if I told you.
Well, I didn't mean to be disrespectful. On the contrary, Matsumi, I'm curious and I wish to learn.
I would like to examine more closely with your permission.
Well, my house is yours. What would you like to do?
Merely to touch this one bell with my finger.
Sounds like Charlie Chan.
You have had this acquisition a long time?
Just a week.
And have you noticed anything out of the ordinary?
Matter of fact, I have.
It rings, does it not? The 5th bell, by itself.
Exactly, by itself. For no reason.
But you have not heard it ring 11 times.
No.
You will forgive me for the suggestion, but would you be willing to part with it?
Oh, I couldn't. As I told you, it was given to me by my wife as a special gift.
Then no offer I might make would be considered.
No, Matsumi, certainly not.
Then could you inform me where your wife bought it?
Well, you know, a little curio shop on Cranston Street. I can't remember the address, but the proprietor is a German lady by the name of Elizabeth Wagner.
Thank you. It may be the shop has another.
I don't believe so, but it's worth a try.
Mr. Phillips,
Yes, Giles.
how did your dinner meeting go last night with Oko Matsumi?
What?
Did you get them to increase their production of the 16K dynamic RAM chips?
Well, it was never a problem. I don't know why the man came here. We're in touch by phone twice a week. The entire evening, not one word about production.
Well, he had a good American meal.
But that's not why he came. I'm wondering if it didn't have something to do with those bells. Let's speak of the devil. 5, 6, 7. This is going to drive me up the walls.
Frank, may I come in?
Please do. Come in, darling. My one note of sanity. Giles was just leaving. Oh, Giles, the only letter I didn't sign was the one to Venezuela Petroleum. Redo it, Giles, as I've indicated in the margin.
9 tomorrow, sir?
Well, I'm not sure. Well, come anyway. You have the key. I may ask you to take that little spare bedroom by the library for a few days. I may have to do some late-night dictation.
Well, that's quite all right with me, Mr. Phillips. Good night, sir. Good night, Mrs. Phillips.
Good night. I don't know that it's good for you to be working late hours, Frank.
Good for me.
Well, you're getting awfully jumpy these days. I wish you'd go see Dr. Milgren.
Is that why you came in here? To tell me I was Getting on your nerves?
Oh, you're getting on your own nerves, Frank. I came to ask you whether you particularly care for those Japanese bells you've hung up there.
Well, why do you ask me that? What suddenly made you ask me that?
Well, remember I told you I'd bought it from a German dealer on Cranston Street, a Mrs. Wagner. Well, this afternoon she sent a messenger with a note asking if I'd sell it back to her for $2,000. She must have found out it was more valuable than she thought. Oh, Frank, $2,000 would make such a nice donation to
Never heard of it before, John, and I know
She
toys.
wants to buy it back now after what she told me?
What was that?
Oh, never mind. No, don't sell it to her, not at any price. I want it. I'll give you a check for $2,000 for your fund. What is it, Giles?
As I was leaving, a messenger handed me this note for you, Mrs. Phillips. Said he'd wait for an answer.
A note for me?
Well, what does it say?
I really want an English butler.
Another message from the curio shop dealer. Now she offers $5,000. $5,000.
Well, if old Mrs. Wagner keeps raising the ante, it's going to add a great deal to your community fund. Hand me my checkbook, will you, darling? Giles, tell the messenger there's no reply.
Franklin Phillips is nothing else if not stubborn. Is it because he must probe the secret of the fifth bell? Of course it is. Phillips is a man not easily dissuaded or defeated, but the very tenacity that has earned him world power may be his undoing. I shall return shortly with Act Two. There's been a definite change in Frank Phillips in the last month. He's not the freewheeling financier he once was, completely in command of himself, a captain of industries, five-star general of omnipotence. Today, his face is pale, his hands twitch, his eyes roam, and he seems always to be on the alert, listening, waiting. He sends for the one man whose reputation for fathoming the unfathomable is worldwide.
Van Dusen, I'll pay anything if you can put my mind at rest.
Frank?
Did he say fathoming the unfathomable? Unfathomable? What? Say again? Herbert? Marshall? Yama. You know, this turned out not to be the best story, but, you know, most CBS Radio Mystery Theater shows are good, but anyways, here we go.
We went to college together. I turned to solving crimes and you to controlling cartels.
Forgive me, I'm so beside myself with worry. I've forgotten simple courtesy and politeness. How are you? It's been years. Do you keep up with your music?
Oh, yes. I still play the violin. Not well, but I finish everything I begin.
That's Van Dusen, all right. In all areas. You were always magnificently thorough.
Well, all right, Frank. What is it that plagues you?
Those bells there hanging over the west window.
Yes, I was admiring them. Beautiful, beautiful ancient art.
I am always waiting for one of them to ring.
By yourself?
Without anyone touching it or even being near it.
They have rung by themselves?
One of them has. Now, I know it sounds impossible, absurd, but I find I wake up at night trembling, and then I can't get back to sleep. I lie awake for hours waiting. Here, when I'm at work at this desk as I'm sitting now, I am filled with fear. Even as I talk to you, I'm waiting for that sound. No one hits it. It doesn't even move. A tone just comes out of it.
Now, Frank, you're torturing yourself not because the bell may ring, but because your common sense tells you that the bell cannot and does not make any sound at all. So you have worked yourself into a state and are afraid you may be going mad.
No, I know that the bell is an inanimate thing, but it acts as if it were alive.
Well, I'll try to help you, Frank. I have a few matters to wind up. I'll be here the day after tomorrow.
I like how this guy is just telling him, listen, you're crazy. I don't even know what you're talking about. A good way to get out of the conversation and leave. Oh,
You
funny.
will. I feel so much better now. You were my last hope.
Frank, look out.
Huh?
There's a dead body downstairs in the study, in the room where you work.
What? How do you know?
Well, I went in to open the windows and air the room, just as I do every morning. Oh, Frank, there's blood all over the carpet right under those awful Japanese bells.
Did you call the police?
I didn't know what to do.
Where's Giles?
He hasn't arrived yet.
Giles should be here. He's staying here. I asked him to take a little room off the library because I've been working at night.
Well, then he's not there. I passed it just now. The door's open. There's no one in the room.
Hand me that telephone, Alma. First thing is to call the police.
Well, didn't you hear me?
Oh, yes. Hello, Mallory. Yes, I heard you.
I've been trying to get you on the phone since noon, Van, but you don't answer it.
I never do while I'm practicing.
Oh, I see. Are you giving a concert?
No, but I may give someone the old heave-ho, even though he is the chief inspector of our renowned Boston police force.
Listen to me. What I need is a combination doctor, medicine man, scientist, practicing psychologist.
In other words, myself.
I haven't finished. And an expert in Oriental art. Shall I go on?
Well, I'll listen, but I make no promises.
This morning, a dead woman was discovered in the house of Frank Phillips.
A dead woman. Not Mrs. Phillips.
Oh, no. So far unidentified.
You do mean the Frank Phillips?
None other.
Well, that's my case. Mrs. Phillips, I'm Dr. Van Dusen. I knew Frank from college. Now, Detective Mallory here asked me to help him on this case. May I talk to your husband?
I'm afraid not. He's in some kind of a shock. We've called our doctor, who's given him something to sleep.
Was it you who discovered the unfortunate body?
He was wearing trousers, so I thought first it was a man. But I was told it was a woman. I didn't.
Yeah, weather here is beautiful for a change. 78, perfect temperature, sunny. How's it in your neck of the woods there? Anyways, it's going to be this way for a short period of time, and then we're going to get hit right. We usually go right from summer right into winter. Then it's going to be cold. I hope not. I hope this year we get a good month of October too, but oh well.
Look.
That's the weather update.
Mrs. Phillips, I'm afraid you'll have to. Everyone in your house will be asked to try to identify the victim.
Did Frank see the victim?
Yes, he did.
Sweet
it was
Indigo!
before the police arrived.
Good to
He
see
bent
ya.
down. I think he knew who it was.
There's no point in delaying the identification any longer. The boys outside are waiting to remove the remains. Suppose you go in first, ma'am, and then I'll call in the rest of your staff.
Here's a close-up, Sweet Indigo.
It's her. The woman in the antique shop. It's her.
You recognize the victim?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I saw her only once, but it looks like her.
Her name, Mrs. Phillips. Do you know it?
Elizabeth Wagner. She's German. I bought those bells from her up there. And then she wrote me twice trying to buy them back.
Yes, interesting. Make you a good offer?
Oh, Frank wouldn't let me accept it. He was adamant.
Sounds to me, Van, like they turned out to be a lot more valuable than this Mrs. Wagner originally thought.
Or someone else came to her with a much better offer. Mrs. Phillips, has anyone been a guest here and seen the bells since they were purchased?
Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, yes. There was Mr. Okamutsumi. He's in business with Frank in Tokyo.
And this Mr. Oko Matsumi, did he admire it?
Well, that's what my husband said, Inspector. Offered a fortune to buy it. Frank turned him down flat, too. Inspector, Miss Van Dusen, come over here where I'm standing by the window.
It's a wrench party.
Down there in the street, right across the way.
Oh.
That's him,
Who?
Mr. Matsumi. He's watching this house. Why is he there? He told Frank he was taking the next plane back to Tokyo. Oh, this is just all too much. Do I have to stay in this room any longer? I feel terribly weak.
No, of course not. Of course not. Here, let me take you to the door. You can take my arm. Here you are. Now, are you sure you can make it to your room all right?
Yes.
Making a
I
little
can.
monster type
Good dear.
thing. It's pretty cool.
Oh, Frank told me what a good friend you were. And how happy he was to see you again. I think I'll just go lie down.
You do that.
Mallory, is that Japanese still watching this house,
No, he's gone. What do you know about these 6 bells?
Well, if they aren't from the Horyuju at Nara, I'll eat them.
Is that a famous place?
Unparalleled in Japan. Oh, it's a fabulous monastery built by a Prince Shotoku in 607. And I've got a feeling that those bells belong there.
Hey there, Submit Obey. I mean, Yibo Timbus, good to have you at the channel over here, too. Listening to some CBS Radio Mystery Theater as I put The Nightmare Before Christmas together. A Lego set together. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, all that good stuff. Thank you for being here. Here we go.
Stolen.
Give you an idea of their beauty. Now, I'll hit one of them with a pencil. Mallory, on the 5th bell. Look, a smudge of blood.
Oh, we're in luck. I'll get this dusted for prints. We just may have our first big lead.
I never did like the morgue in the morning. Identifying cold bodies is a part of a criminologist's job I can do without.
That's true enough for sure. There's a lot of detail to police work that's slightly on the macabre side. Okay, Charlie, you can pull the lady out of the locker. Now, the medical examiner said there was one shot penetrating the skull from the rear. Oh, the body must have dropped like a sack of lead.
Whose body?
I thought you'd ask. Now, that's why I'm down here. I had a couple of pigeons stop by just now, and they identified her. Granny Liz, also known as Elizabeth Wagner. Been on the book since I was playing hopscotch. A fence, stolen goods, keeps on the move. 17 Cranston Street was the longest at one address. Insurance companies would call her first.
Good to see you,
She
Kathy,
made good money
Raj.
at the time.
She
Good to
won't
see
be
everybody
making
jumping
any
in.
more.
I'd say she's
I'll hold
probably
up and
better
show it.
off where she is.
Yeah.
Okay, Charlie, roll her back.
Any leads?
On the perpetrator? I think so. This, personal secretary of Phillips, named Giles Francis, well, more of an administrative assistant.
Meaning?
He knows everything there is to know about his boss. Now, according to Mrs. Phillips, Francis was living on the premises and hasn't shown up since the morning the body was discovered. Not at his own apartment either, nowhere. Left his clothes, toothbrush, electric razor, even a billfold with money behind him.
Yeah. Left in a panic.
He looks like our suspect. We'll get him.
Well, if this lady French was shot through the head and died instantly, she didn't leave her blood on that bill.
But somebody else did. We're still checking for fingerprints.
Frank, I hate to pursue this when you're not feeling well, but the sooner Inspector Mallory and I know everything we can, the sooner we'll get to the end of it. What time did you first see the body?
Well, Norma,
Okay, I have to do a close-up of this monster I'm putting in front of this set. I'm almost done with this first building here, but there's a little Nightmare Before Christmas like monster that's going to go in the little area down in here. I think it's so unique how they made this. It's even got like little tiny Godzilla arms right here. They're like really tiny Godzilla arms. But it's got like these wings on the back of it and horns. And it's unique how they built it. I like it. I like it. Anyways, I like it a lot. Okay.
At first, I got to it at about 8:30. Right there on the floor where the chalk marks are.
Face down.
I don't remember. I recognized her right away.
Well, you must have turned it over.
I don't know. I don't remember. The window was open, but the door was locked. I saw blood on the 5th bell.
You saw that?
Yeah, it was her blood. I must have fainted. I don't know, when I came to, they'd put me to bed.
Now think back to the first time that bell rang. Do you remember the date?
Remember the date?
Yes.
Well, yes, it was the day after my birthday, Tuesday, the 11th of the month. Norma had just bought me the bells, and the next day I forced the market up to a record price on a
Building
whole
looks so
fleet of
good.
container cars I own. I made a bundle. You guys, are you two just going to stand there and keep asking questions?
Now, Frank, to know the facts, we have to ask the questions.
Well, then come back some other time. I can't talk to you anymore.
Frank, remember, you just said when you first heard the bell ring, for no reason, it was the day after your birthday. And you got a record price for a whole fleet of container railroad cars. Now, that is what I want you to remember about Franklin Phillips. Not being 50 or feeling old or building up some Buddhist bogey. You've got everything to live for. And Inspector Mallory and I will see to it that you do.
A murder committed in a wealthy man's house. Unnerving. More alarming still, the unpredictable tolling of a temple gong. When will it strike next? This unexpected sound challenges understanding, is beyond imagination. We can achieve nothing until we imagine it. And only so far as the human brain can imagine, can it comprehend. I shall return shortly with Act 3. This is what we know. Without warning, an ancient Japanese bell peals day or night in the house of Franklin Phillips. There has been a murder of a woman with a
Did I
criminal
show
record.
Santa Claus? I did at the
The young
beginning.
executive secretary to Phillips has disappeared, and the financier himself, haunted by the bell that feeds on his fears, is gradually losing control of himself, is close to the edge of madness.
Can't you two understand how I feel? I must know what it is that makes the bell toll when it does. Have they located Giles Francis yet?
No, not yet, but they will. You'd given him a gun, Frank, hadn't you?
Of course. There's always the chance of a burglar, plenty to steal in this house. And Giles was an excellent shot, too.
You're implying...
Nothing at all. Draw your own conclusions.
Yes, well, one last question, Frank. This Mr. Oku Matsumi from Japan. Had you ever met him before?
No, not in person. He wired me from Tokyo. He was on his way. Why? What are you getting at?
Well, I'm only trying to ascertain whether he was Oku Matsumi or not.
I never asked to see his passport.
What do you mean by ascertain?
I feel
What are you
trapped.
getting at?
No getting away, hemmed in by all this. And I can't reason it out. I'm in a swamp, a fog.
Well, to me, Frank, it's all quite clear. One vital point needs answering. Once done, that'll be it.
You've a solution?
Depending on the answer. If it's affirmative, I know that an Oriental mind, such as a Japanese, could have conceived this affair. If the answer is negative, well, then the entire matter becomes ridiculously simple.
Van Dusen, where have you been?
Well, making inquiries, Inspector.
Oh, I know that. One of my men tells me you entered the hotel opposite the Phillips mansion, that you went to the rear of the second floor at the end of a hall and looked out of a large plate glass window overlooking the city. And then you walked to the other end of the hall and stood staring out at the Phillips place across the street.
Well, I don't know why you bother asking me when your men are so observant.
We know where you went, but not why.
Mallory, I've written here a list of information I'll need urgently. Now, I'm due back at Frank Phillips, so I must go.
Oh, hold on a minute. Give me a chance to look at these questions of yours. Was there a storm the midnight before finding the body? Direction and velocity of the wind. Get complete local weather report for tonight. What is all this? What's it got to do with the murder and the ringing bell?
Everything, Inspector.
Oh? Oh, by the way, I've got bad news for you. That fingerprint or prints, too smudged for identification.
Yes, well, I was afraid that would be the case. Now, as soon as you get that meteorological information, bring it to me at Phillips, will you?
Are you going straight back there?
No, I'm stopping off at my place first, picking up my violin and a champagne glass.
Mr. Mitsumi, what a surprise. Mrs. Hanson said you were downstairs and wished to see me.
Yes, honorable madame.
I thought you were leaving.
Look at that
Tokyo days
tree.
ago.
I love it.
Unexpected.
Got to remember that
developments
technique.
Compelled my remaining in your fair city. How is your husband? Well, I trust?
Well, he would have come down himself to greet you, but he has not been well lately.
Ah, so. The bells have rung?
What made you say that?
Mrs. Phillips, the power of our ancient ceremonies transcend the ages. A man of such resources as Mr. Phillips must have realized America is not the proper home for those bells.
Oh, I don't agree. Museums and private collectors the world over have artifacts from ancient Egypt, China, ancient Rome.
Forgive me. Those are dead objects, Mrs. Phillips. These ancient temple bells are alive.
You frighten me.
I have no desire to do so. I hope my warning comes not too late. This envelope is for Mr. Phillips. When he has recovered, insist that he read it. Good day, Mrs. Phillips.
And as soon as he handed me this envelope, Dr. Van Dusen, he disappeared.
May I take charge of the letter?
Oh, yes. Here.
Sorry, I'm interrupting the CBS Radio Mystery Theater show, but the first building is complete. And if I turn it around and you guys look at the front, listen, I know it's hard to see from, and even my lighting sucks. I like to keep the lights down low. You know what I'm saying? Just for, it just feels better for me. I don't like working in big bright lights. But there's the first building. It's all done. And at the end, of course, there will be a review and I will go in depth on everything. But I love everything about this. I love the tree, the little monster in the front fountain. And I love in the back. See, I can't even tilt this right now. You guys are going to have to wait till the final reveal. So I'm going to push that right here. I'll turn it around so that you guys can see that. Lock, Shock, and Barrel, the Mayor, and Santa Claus. I do believe I'm getting ready to build Jack Skellington next. That will be a cool thing. Let's see. Hi Dino, CBS Radio Mystery Theater is great. There are numerous episodes. Are there any episodes that you are fond or memorable? For me, Return to Shadow Lake. This was the very first show. Introduced me to it. Very cool. Thanks, Kathy. At the moment, I can't pick out a specific one. A lot of the early ones are really, really good. But they're all really good. This one isn't that great. I like the ghostly. I like the sci-fi ones. The sci-fi ones are really good. There might be one tonight, a sci-fi episode, CBS Radio Mystery Theater. I can't remember what I put in there. But anyways, let me go. I am going to the building. The building. This one I'm doing next. Let's see. I'm trying to get the booklet. Okay, so this is the one I am doing next. Because there are 3 different buildings, and that's where Jack and Sally and I wish they would have made the evil scientist. I really do. But they didn't. So it is what it is. Okay, so on with the show, and let me start building bag 7.
What's written on the outside?
Well, just what it says, Norma. To be opened when the 5th bell rings 11 times. Now, for the present, I'll hang on to it. I don't want to add another worry to Frank right now.
No, he is better, though.
Then, do you think
Let's laugh. I think I do
down to
need
the
some
study?
ginger ale.
I think
That's
so.
a good idea.
I know he
actually.
always feels more secure when he sees you.
Maybe after this bag.
Well, it's good to see you, Frank.
Good to be on my feet. I think I've shaken that weak feeling.
Yes. Well, I think I can make this fast, Frank. Logic always works fast. It's the sum total of fact as inevitable as 2 and 2 making 4.
Excuse me. Hello? Oh, who do you want to talk to? Oh, yes. Yes, he's here. It's for you, Dr. Van Dusen.
Oh, thank you. Van Dusen here. Yeah. Oh, he's on his way, eh? Right. Thank you.
Something dropped.
The weather tonight, light wind from the east, 4 miles an hour. Norma, Frank, in 2 minutes, 15 seconds from now, that 5th bell will sound 10 times. A woman was shot here. A bloody fingerprint left on that bell. A door locked from the inside. The east window opened. Giles Francis is missing. That much we know. Yet no one heard a revolver go off. It was thundering that night. Possible explanation. Why did the curio dealer sneak into the house? It was obviously to steal what you couldn't buy back. There's 1 minute and 5 seconds and the bell will ring. But to come back to that night, a shot fired. Moments later, the bell starts to ring. It must have been nerve-wracking, terrifying. Blood on his hand from trying to see who the prowler was. The person with the gun runs to the bell and tries to stop its sound, and then he runs out.
Not a bad theory, Van, but it's not fact.
Oh, I didn't hear you come in, Mallory.
Well, I brought with me a friend of Mr. Phillips, who perhaps not a friend anymore, but a former employee. Giles Francis, would you step forward?
Well, what are you doing here? Giles, you promised that...
Yes, I had to come back. I didn't shoot anyone that night. It was him.
You, Frank.
My property. She wanted to steal it. Man's house is his castle. Common burglar. Yes, I shot her.
There goes the bell on the button.
It knows. It hears me. It's alive. Norma, help me up. I've got to stop its ringing. What are you looking at me for? I didn't know who it was. I got them with one shot, and then I turned the body over, you see? Who was it? Who would come here? And then the bell started tolling like John Donne says. It tolled for me. I couldn't stand it. I grabbed it. I held on to it. I couldn't make it stop ringing until it wanted to stop.
All right now, Mr. Phillips, would you just come over here with me for a moment? I want you to calm
But you
down.
just calm down.
Terrible state, Dr. Van Dusen. You can see for yourself.
Well, I think I can convince him, if he'll let me, that there is nothing to fear.
Oh, what about that note from the Japanese? To be opened when the bell rang 11 times.
Oh, that's hogwash, Norma. There are natural explanations for the occasional ringing.
What are you two whispering about?
Frank, listen. The ringing of the bell at any time is
Still
a
couldn't
purely
find it, though.
physical
I don't know what
phenomenon.
dropped.
They're after
I'll
me.
figure it out.
They want it back in the Temple of Buddha. Over my dead body, they'll get it.
Now, Frank, that is nonsense. Do you know what activates the fifth bell? Vibration. Sound waves. Where does it come from? The town hall clock half a mile away. Now, the sound travels through the second floor hall
My
of the
favorite.
hotel across the street, through your east window, and activates the fifth bell. It's like a tuning fork.
But why not all the time? Why only sometimes?
And a gust of air, even a person walking through the hotel can interrupt the vibration.
No, that isn't so.
Oh,
Frank! He's fainting.
well, he's overwrought, Norma. You know, killing someone, even a
Sally
robber,
Skellington!
blood on your hands, it's traumatic.
Hello!
Now, on top
Here's
of that,
Jack.
He's so convinced an evil spirit of some ancient rite is out to get him, so he just isn't prepared to accept the truth. Now, you call the doctor immediately. What did the doctor say just now before he left?
He said not to worry.
Well, Norma, I'm packing it in. That's enough for one day. I'll take my violin and go.
I meant to ask you why you brought it. Oh, excuse me. At night, if it's late and someone comes to the door, the butler sounds a buzzer. We don't generally admit anyone after 10. I'll just pick up the wall phone. Yes? Who is it?
It's Inspector Mallory, Mrs. Phillips. I know it's late, but may I speak with you a moment?
Oh, well, certainly. Meet us in the study. You know the way. That was Inspector Mallory. Shall we go down? Welcome back, Inspector.
Well, now, I hope you'll forgive me. I had an idea, and so to test it, I wanted to have another look at that fifth bell. You see, that circle with the 3 dots inside and the 3 rays. I think it has a meaning.
Yes, it probably does, but that's not the reason it keeps ringing. I thought I proved it to you.
Oh, not to me, Van. The idea of a vibration leaving a town hall clock a half a mile away, running the length of a hotel hall, and then jumping across the street to get this bell to ring. No, could never happen. No vibrations have that power.
Yes, well, Norma, with your permission, I'd like to give you all a little private concert. Now, excuse me while I open my violin case. Now, we will begin tonight's concert by tapping the edge of this champagne glass. Now, taking up my violin, I will try to play the same tone sung to us by the glass. Norma, please take this glass and place it on the mantelpiece. Thank you. Now, I draw my bow across the violin strings at the same pitch as the champagne glass. There. The glass shatters across the room. Vibrations. Not powerful enough, eh, Inspector? It works just as well half a mile away as inside this room. And you don't need a Stradivarius to prove it. Welcome, Inspector. You're just in time for the Allegro movement.
Now I haven't time for that, Van Dusen.
Yes, well, I know what that means. Problems.
Yes, unfortunately.
I thought Frank gave you a statement, and in view of shooting a prowler and so on, you dropped any conspiracy charges.
We did. But I learned today from Mr. Phillips that you had a note to be given to Phillips.
A note? Oh, note, yes.
From that Doku Matsumi.
It said that when the bell rang 11 times, that was the end of Phillips, or words to that effect. I mean, I'm sorry I threw it away. It's just superstitious rot.
Man, listen to me. Yesterday was the 11th day since Frank...
I think I'm going to play a Superman episode after this.
Bell from ringing 11 times. Well, this morning he's dead. His wife called me. I brought along the medical examiner, and He had a look at him.
Oh, dear. Poor man. Heart failure, I suppose.
I don't believe that. His heart stopped, all right. But not from natural causes.
Oh, come on now. The man was on the edge of a total breakdown.
And do you remember the markings on that fifth bell? A circle with 3 dots and 3 rays extending from it. I saw those same marks on Philip's forehead.
So much for the principles Professor Van Dusen lives by. A belief that imagination is essential to solve any given problem. That all material problems can be solved, and that in meeting them, logic is the lever. I think perhaps our crime-solving friend won't be as inflexible in the future, don't you? I shall return shortly. We live in an age when the incredible no longer surprises us. We can accept today what yesterday would have been laughed at, and the day before would have caused us torture at the stake. Our premise on Mystery Theater is not only to open a confounding world to your dial, but to open your mind to the scientific acknowledgement that there is no such thing as the impossible. Or as Napoleon once said in another context, impossible? There's no such word in French. Our cast included Earl Hammond, Arnold Moss, Joyce Gordon, and Ian Martin. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next...
Hey there, AJ. What's going on? Good to see ya. Good to see ya, AJ. Good to see ya. Yeah, working on the second building, getting the ground floor put in. I think I'm going to play some, let's see, Alternate Camping at the State Park. Tonight is Camping at the State Park, AJ. Have fun. Have fun. I got CBS Radio Mystery Theater all night long over there on the Late Late Horror Show. So enjoy that. Camping is fun. I don't go all that often. Bugs and mosquitoes. But anyways, I'm going to play some Superman. I need more of a pick-me-up. It's not bedtime yet, so that wasn't the best episode, that's for sure. How dare I? What is wrong with me? Why? Who am I to judge? Well, I'm a judge. Anyways, okay, so let's listen to some Superman, huh? How about that? What do you say? What do you be? Let's see. I'm going to do 1 Minute to Death. Superman from 1949. How about that? Yeah, half-hour show. Here we go. Half-hour show. What? Let's see. Hey, Mr. Ed. Hey, you know what, Ed? I need to give you a wrench, my friend. Let me wrench you up, add you as a moderator. Standard. There you go. Dino, I know I ask a lot of you. You know what? Raj, on this channel, I'm going to make you a moderator too, my friend. You're always there. Let's see. Dino, I know I ask a lot, but would you be so kind as to play The Hands of Death from the sealed book, please? But if you're not up to it, that is okay. No problem. I will play Superman first, though, and then I'll go back to sealed book and play The Hands of Death. Not a problem at all, Raj. But let's listen to some Superman here real quick, huh? 1 Minute to Death.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
I tell you.
More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. The Adventures of Superman. When the planet Krypton, home of a race of supermen, exploded into dust, the sole survivor was an infant boy who had been shot to earth in a sealed rocket.
Today, that boy grown to manhood is known as Superman, sworn enemy of the forces of evil. To aid him in his never-ending fight for truth and justice, he masquerades as Clark Kent, crime reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. His secret is carefully guarded. No one is aware that
Be back.
Kent
I am
is
getting some
Superman.
ginger ale.
No one but you.
1 minute.
Join with us now on ABC as Superman saves an innocent boy from the electric chair in an exciting transcribed story of crime and courage entitled 1 Minute to Death.
I found the part I dropped.
The night was clear but dark. There were stars in the black canopy of the sky, but a waning moon had long since dipped beneath the horizon when young Johnny Weber circled the modest shingled house on Pine Street in the suburbs of Metropolis. Moving silently across the soft cushion of the lawn, he stationed himself beneath a second-story window. Looking up, he whistled softly. A long moment of silence, broken only by the chirping of crickets and the hum of insects. Then, almost like a delayed echo, there was an answering whistle. Moving to the rear of the house, Johnny waited in the protected darkness. He saw a light go on in the kitchen, and then go off. The key turned in a lock. The rear door opened, and a young girl tiptoed down the 4 steps.
Oh, I thought you'd never come.
I had trouble getting a car.
Well, did you get one?
Yeah, but I gotta go pick it up now. It'll take me about 20 minutes.
Whose car is it, Johnny?
One of the boys. Hey, look, honey, you go get ready and then meet me out front.
Whose car is it, Johnny?
What's the difference whose car it is? All we're gonna do is drive it up to Glen Oaks, get married, and drive back.
I want to know whose car you're borrowing.
I told you, one of the boys. Oh, Laura, honey, we're killing time.
You promised me that you wouldn't have anything more to do with that gang you used to hang around with.
Baby, I'm not. I spent 2 hours calling up people trying to get a car. Nobody was home.
Well, we can wait. We don't have to do it tonight.
We've been waiting 6 months. If we don't do it tonight, we'll never do it. Baby, please, don't make it tougher than it is.
You still haven't told me whose car it is.
You wouldn't know if I did tell you. Just a guy. And anyway, baby, we're only taking it for the night, that's all. After we give it back in the morning, we're through with the car and we're through with him.
I don't like you getting mixed up with those hoodlums again.
I'm not getting mixed up. Baby, believe me. You go get ready. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Johnny, wait. You've got to promise me something.
What?
That you'll return the car in the morning and never have anything more to do with whoever you're borrowing it from.
Sure, baby. Why not?
On your word of honor, Johnny?
On my word of honor. Time to get a speeding ticket.
You in a hurry, son?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I am, officer.
All right, let's see your driver's license.
Sure. I'm on my way to pick up my girl. Here, we get married in Glen Oaks tonight. I guess I was so happy about it, I forgot it was going so fast.
Registration?
Huh?
Car registration. The owner's license. Let's see it.
Oh, gosh. I forgot to get it. You see, I just borrowed this car for tonight.
Oh? Who owns it?
Friend of mine.
What's his name?
Name's Tony.
Tony what?
I don't know his last name.
Must be a real good friend.
Well, see, it's this way,
Yeah?
just borrowed the car for tonight on account of me and my girl.
Yeah, you said that before.
Oh, did I? Yeah. Guess I did.
What have you got in the back?
Oh, nothing.
Turn your motor off.
Well, look.
Yeah, just get up and I see the Lego over there. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's have the key.
Yeah. Well, what are you looking for?
Anything I can find. Now sit tight while I open the trunk.
Well, why don't you just give me a ticket for speeding and let me go?
You're going to get a lot more than a ticket for speeding. Get your hands up. What? Get out.
Hey, what's the idea?
Come on, keep them up.
What? I don't get this.
Not much you don't. Where'd you get the radios?
The what?
The 10 portable radios in the trunk.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Come clean, Johnny. Where'd you get them?
I told you, this ain't my car. I borrowed it. I don't know nothing about no radios.
How about the name of the man you borrowed the car from? You remember it now?
Yeah. Yes, I do. It's Dinelli. Tony Dinelli.
Where does he live?
I don't know. Honest, I don't.
How'd you get the car?
I picked it up at the Turnpike Tavern. It's kind of a roadhouse on the Turnpike.
Yes, I know where it is. Is Dinelli there?
I guess so.
He was there when he gave you the car, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I don't want to get mixed up with him.
Why not?
I just don't want to, that's all.
You're going to have to get mixed up with him, Johnny. You say he owns this car.
That's right.
There are 10 new radios in the trunk that could have been stolen.
Not by
Well,
me.
we're taking a ride over to the Turnpike Tavern, and you're going to pick out Tony Dinelli for me, and I'm going
Thanks,
to have a little
Ed.
talk with him. All right, Johnny, pick him out.
I don't see him. Sitting over there in that last booth with this girl.
You'd better find him, son.
That's that guy with the bald head nose, and he runs the place.
Yeah?
He's coming over.
You looking for someone, officer?
Yeah. Where's Tony?
Tony who?
Dinelli.
I don't know no Tony Dinelli.
Sure you know him. He comes in here all the time. He was sitting over there in that booth with this girl, Chicky, less than 20 minutes ago.
Nobody was sitting in that booth all night. You got it wrong, kid.
Well, you're lying. You're covering for
You
him.
little...
All right, that's enough.
We run a straight joint here, officer.
Yeah, I know. Okay, Johnny, let's go.
I tell you, he's lying.
Let's go.
Hannigan, State Patrol, car 17 reporting. Have a burglary suspect. Request ownership check on black Chevrolet sedan, license 4Y6782. That is all.
You better give it to me straight, Johnny. You heard the ownership report. The car belongs to a man named Walter Silsby on Cox's Lane, not to Tony Dinelli.
I tell you, I got the car from Dinelli. I swear I
And you
did.
didn't know the radios were in the trunk?
No, call my girl. Ask her what I was doing.
All right, we'll ask her later. Right now, we're going over to Cox's
Good
Lane
luck,
to ask Mr.
Ed,
Silsby.
on the art.
That must be his place, that shack. All right, keep walking in front of me, Johnny. Don't try anything.
Why should I try anything? I didn't do nothing.
Just keep walking. Okay, hold up. Knock on the door.
Maybe he's not home.
There's a light on. All right, try the door. See if it's open.
That's a rickety screen door.
Step inside. Remember, Johnny, I've got a gun in your back.
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't do it.
3 bullets in his chest and 1 in his
I
neck.
never saw the guy before. You gotta believe me. You gotta.
It's not up to me, Johnny. I'm taking you in for murder.
Arrested for murder, indicted, found guilty by a jury of his peers, and sentenced to die in the electric chair, young Johnny Weber, caught in a mesh of circumstantial evidence, now waits forgotten in a death house cell. Forgotten, save by 2 people. One, Laura Williams, the girl he was about to marry. The other, Clark Kent, who, as crime reporter for the Metropolis Daily Planet, spent many hours at the trial and is convinced of Johnny's innocence. We find them both in Kent's office.
All we've got left is a week, Mr. Kent. Isn't there some way of getting more time?
Now, the governor won't grant a stay of execution unless we present new evidence. We haven't been able to get any.
Yes, but how can we if they won't even let us talk to Johnny?
Well, I'm expecting a call from the warden any minute now. I spent all morning at the DA's office, and he finally agreed to recommend that one of us be permitted to see Johnny.
Oh.
It's really up to the warden, but I'm pretty sure... Oh, wait a minute. That may be he now. Keep your fingers crossed. Clark Kent speaking. Oh, hello, warden. Yes, he said he was going to call you. I see. Well, thanks a lot. Yes, sir, I will. Thank you.
Yes?
Yes. One of us can see him at 3 this afternoon.
Oh, thank heavens. You'd better go, Mr. Kent. I get all tied up inside, and I wouldn't ask the right questions. And it might be better, too, if Johnny didn't see me.
I think maybe you're right. Now, what do we want to know?
How to find Tony Dinelli. There must be a way. Tell Johnny he's got to give you the names of Dinelli's friends, the places he usually hangs out, anything he can tell you that might help.
Okay.
And, Mr. Kent,
Yes?
tell Johnny not to give up hope. Tell him I haven't. And tell him I love him as much as I ever did.
Hello, Johnny.
Hello, Mr. Kent.
They'll only give me 2 minutes, Johnny, so I'll have to talk fast. First of all, Laura wanted me to tell you not to give up hope. She hasn't, and she says she loves you as much as she ever did.
Thanks.
Now, about Tony Dinelli. Our only chance to get you out of this mess is to locate Dinelli.
He blew out of town a long time ago. You can count on it.
Chances are you're right, but someone must know where he is.
Well, if they do, they won't talk. I know what happened. I know it like it was written in a book.
What do you mean?
Tony and Silsby pulled that radio store job together.
Yeah?
When Tony went to Silsby's house the next night to get his cut, they got into an argument. Tony maybe had a few drinks. He pulled his gun and blazed away. And he took the old man's car. When he sobered up, he realized the car was hot. That's when I came along.
Yeah, but Johnny, knowing how it happened doesn't help us. We've got to prove it. And we can't prove it unless we lay our hands on Dinelli.
Forget it, Mr. Kent. Tony's gone and he won't come back till I burn.
We'll find him if we can get a lead. Now, what about his friends?
But they'll cover for him.
Don't worry about their covering, Johnny. Let me handle that. Just tell me who they are. For instance, you testified Dinelli was sitting in a booth at the Turnpike Tavern with a girl. Chicky. Do you know her last name?
No.
Well, was she Dinelli's girl?
I guess so. One of them, anyway.
Describe her for me.
She's a platinum blonde, about 5'3" or 4, kind of flashy, talks tough.
Yeah?
Used to be a cigarette girl in a joint before Tony picked her up.
Go on.
Well, that's about all. She's a cheap, hard-drinking dame like 100 others.
That doesn't help much, Johnny. Nothing distinctive about her, nothing different. The clothes she wears or jewelry or...
Wait a minute. Tony gave her a ring with a great big green stone.
An emerald?
Emerald color, but it was too big to be real. Big around as a quarter. She wore it on her left hand.
Now we're getting somewhere. She sounds like a good bet.
Oh, you've got to find her first.
We'll find her. Where does she hang out?
Any one of a dozen gin mills in the South Side.
Okay, my time's up, Johnny. I think I've got enough. Don't give up hope now, and remember that Laura and I are plugging for you.
Thanks.
Any message for Laura?
Yes. Tell her to forget about me.
You sure you want me to tell her that, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
No, Mr. Kent. Wait. Don't tell her that.
This is Lego pieces, and this one piece just keeps popping off. They should fit perfect.
How was he, Mr. Kent? How did he look?
Fine, Laura, fine.
Did you give him my message?
I certainly did, and he said to tell you he loved you more than ever.
Poor Johnny.
Oh, now look, young lady, no tears. We've got work to do.
I'm sorry.
We've got 6 nights to comb every bar, gin mill, and honky-tonk on the South Side. You think you can take it?
I can take anything.
It might mean staying out till all hours of the morning. What about your folks?
They've practically disowned me now, so it doesn't matter. When do we start?
Tonight. It's 3:30, Laura. I think we've got to call it quits for the night. How many places did we cover?
7.
Well, that leaves 5 to go tomorrow night.
Yes, but what if she shows up tomorrow at one of the places we covered tonight?
Just got to keep rotating and trust to luck. For all we know, she may be homesick or even dead. It's been 10 weeks since Johnny last saw her.
It all seems so useless.
No, maybe not. I'll get a check and we can...
What's the matter?
Don't look now, but 2 couples just came in. One of the girls is a platinum blonde, and she's wearing a ring with a huge green stone.
Oh, no.
She's about the right height, too.
Oh, I hope.
Yeah, so do I. Captain's bringing them to the table next to us. Easy now. Don't look too interested.
All right.
She's got her left hand on the table. Take a look at the ring.
Yes.
What are you drinking, Chicky?
Brandy and soda, like always.
Did you hear that, Chicky?
Now listen carefully, Laura. You've got to get acquainted with her.
How?
I'll tell you. We'll try pulling a fast one. I'll start an argument with you. I'll say, let's go home. You say no, you want to stay. I'll grab your arm and you slap my face.
And then what?
I'll act as though I'm going to beat you up. That's your cue to scream, you understand?
Yes.
One of those gorillas at her table is bound to come to your rescue.
He's going to beat
I'll
you
take
up.
a poke at him, he'll hit me, and I'll let him knock me out.
Oh, no, I won't let you do that.
Don't worry, he can't hurt me. Now, listen.
Yes.
Carry me out of here, but don't you follow. You stay behind. Thank the gorilla who saved you. Try to join their party. Tell him you just got in from out of town. You have no money, no place to sleep.
Uh-huh.
Maybe one of them, Chicky, I hope, will offer to take you in.
Well, I don't know whether I'm that good an actress.
Got to be, for Johnny's sake.
Oh, I'll do my best.
Okay, here we go.
All right, come on, kid. I'm sick of this joint. Let's go home.
No, I like it here. I want to stay.
I said we're going home. Now, come on.
You let go of my arm.
I'll let go when I get you out of here.
You let go now.
Oh, why, you fresh little sniff.
Okay, pal, leave her be.
Who asked you?
Leave her be, I said.
I'll take care of her, and you too.
Oh, so that's how it is.
Yeah.
Okay, you punk.
Clark Kent speaking.
Mr. Kent, this is Laura.
Laura, I've been waiting all morning to hear from you.
Well, this is the first chance I had to get out. It worked, Mr. Kent.
Yes, I know.
What do you mean, you know?
You went home with Chicky.
But
I waited outside the nightclub just to make sure. I followed you to her place, 274 Green Street.
Yes, that's right.
Where are you now?
In a drugstore phone booth.
Yeah?
She's got a hangover, and I came down to get some aspirin tablets.
I don't suppose you've had a chance to learn anything.
No, we got home at 5 o'clock, and she slept until 11:30.
Well, don't rush it, Laura. Take it easy. Gain her confidence before you start pumping her.
All right.
You might start by admiring that ring Denelli gave her. You know, the usual stuff. Did your boyfriend give it to you, and so forth and so on.
Got it.
If she opens up and talks, fine. But if not, let it drop for a while.
But, Mr. Kent, we only had 6 days.
I know, but don't worry about that. If you can learn where Denelli's hiding out, the rest is easy.
Oh, I'll do my best.
Oh, and Laura.
Yes.
Chances are she's got a picture of Denelli somewhere in her room, maybe even in her pocketbook. Get hold of it if you can.
Well, I will if she lets me stay with her.
Okay, I'll be here if you need me. Good luck, Laura.
Oh, thank you.
Feel any better now, Chicky?
Yeah. Them aspirins and the coffee did the trick. Oh, brother, did I have a head.
You sure did.
Oh, what time did we get in?
5 o'clock?
And Bobo Lug wanted to come up, didn't he?
Yeah. I talked him out of it.
Thanks, kid. Oh, he's all right, but he's got paws on him like an ape. But he sure flattened that punk who was trying to rough you up, didn't he?
He sure did.
One punch and the punk was out like a light. Oh, you feeling all right, kid?
Oh, sure, I'm fine. Chicky, you did a nice thing bringing me home last night. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Oh, forget it. You're a good kid. Matter of fact, you're going to stay with me till you find a place of your own.
You really mean that, Chicky?
Why not? I got plenty of room here. What's today?
Monday.
What date?
16th.
Let me see. You can stay with me until the 22nd. That's when my boyfriend will be back.
Where is he, Chicky?
Oh, he had to take it on the... I mean, he had to go away on kind of a trip.
Is he a traveling salesman?
Tony? He sure get a boot out of that. No, you see, he kind of got into a little jam, so he had to blow for a while. But he'll be back Sunday the 22nd on Saturday. Something's happening that'll put him in the clear. What's the matter, kid?
Nothing.
You got green around the gills.
I was just thinking how nice it must be to have a regular boyfriend.
Yeah, it sure is. How about let's rustle up some breakfast, huh?
No, I'm not very hungry.
Ah, come on. Snap out of it, kid. We'll find your boyfriend.
Denelli was coming back on Sunday because on Saturday something was going to happen that would put him in the clear. You know what she meant.
Yes, but it's not going to happen. Now, keep plugging, Laura. You're doing fine.
But another day has gone by.
Don't think about that. Just keep plugging.
She talked about Tony for an hour last night, Mr. Kent, but I couldn't get her to tell me where he's hiding out. I'm getting worried.
Don't worry, Laura. Don't be too anxious.
But today is Thursday. Only 2 more days.
What about the picture? Have you had a chance to look around?
No, she's been with me every minute.
Yeah.
And Mr. Kent, why can't we have the police question her, force her to tell us where he is?
No, you can't force her, Laura. Anyway, that would be a tip-off to Denelli. This is the best way, believe me. Just don't get panicky. Something's bound to break.
Mr. Kent, I found a picture and 2 letters from Tony buried under some clothes in one of her bureau drawers.
Good girl. Where are the letters from?
Mauganac, Pennsylvania.
Where?
Mauganac. Mauganuck. Mauganac, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's a coal mining town near Scranton.
Shall I bring them right over?
No, where are you now?
In the drugstore on the corner.
You've got to verify the location if you can. He may have mailed the letters from another town.
But, Mr. Kent, today's Saturday. It's our last day.
I know. Stay where you are. I'll come over.
No, I can't do that. She only went out for a few minutes to pay her electric light bill. Either I've got to pull out altogether or go back to the room.
I'll tell you what you do. Borrow an envelope from the druggist. Put the letters and the picture in it, seal it, write my name on it, and leave it there for me. I'll pick it up.
All right, but then what?
Talk to her when she gets back. Somehow mention Pennsylvania, the coal mines, you know. You might even tell her you've got a friend in Mauganac. She's bound to react. Maybe even tell you that's where Denelli is.
I hope you're right.
I can't be very far wrong. You better go now.
Okay.
Chickie.
Hiya, Doc. A box of Kleenex, an orange stick, and a pint of rubbing alcohol.
All right. Where you been keeping yourself these days, Chickie? I see your girlfriend a lot, but I don't see much of you. That was rubbing alcohol, right?
Yeah, a pint. What girlfriend?
Oh, one's living with you. Dark hair, kind of nice looking. Comes in almost every day to use the pay telephone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, matter of fact, she was in just a few minutes ago. Left an envelope for some fella to pick up.
She did?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, let's see it, Doc.
Sure.
Clark Kent. Oh, yeah, I know this guy. Only you shouldn't have left it here for him. He's coming by the house. I'll take it with me.
Suits me.
You finish wrapping that package, Doc. I got to make a phone call.
Okay.
Where's that dirty, no-good sneak? Bobo, this is Chicky.
Hiya, baby.
I need you in a hurry, Bobo.
What's up?
Tell you when I see you. Pick me up at the corner of Green and Havemeyer and make it fast.
Oh, back so soon?
Yeah, I'm back. Come on in, Bobo. You remember Bobo? He's the one pasted that guy you were with the night we met.
Oh, of course. It's nice to see you again.
Skip the glad hand, sister. Lock the door, Chicky.
Yeah.
What's the matter? Is something wrong?
Not with us, sister. How about you?
Chicky, what's he talking about?
Get off it. Who you stooling for, you little rat?
I don't know what you mean.
Maybe this'll help you.
Where'd you get these letters and this picture? As if I didn't.
I never saw them before.
That's for lying.
You got them out of that drawer.
No, I didn't.
Are you stooling for the cops? Come on, answer me.
Stop it. Stop.
Answer me or I'll pull out every hair on your head.
No.
No what?
Please.
She passed out.
Get some water.
Hey, look, what are you wasting time with her for? Let's load her in the car and take her for a one-way ride.
I gotta find out who she's stooling for.
The cops, who do you think? It don't make no difference. You got the letters and the picture?
Yeah, but I don't know how much she already told him.
Who cares? That kid gets burned up in the big house tonight. By tomorrow, Tony is clear. All we gotta do
Get
is...
the water, Bobo.
Okay, if that's the way you want it. There you are.
Toss it in her face.
Right.
Lift her up and put her in a chair.
Oh, where am I? What happened?
Quit stalling. You're right where you were, and you're gonna stay here till you sing. Who's Clark Kent?
I don't know.
All of a sudden, you don't know nothing, do you?
Oh, please.
You knew enough to duck into the drugstore every day and call the cops, didn't you?
Please, I can't stand it.
Then talk.
I don't know anything.
Let me work on it, Chicky.
Nah, she'll just black out again. What you said before was the right pitch. Where can we do it?
I know a place.
Okay, we'll fix her, then we'll blow until tomorrow. Get her coat out of the closet. Come on now, up on your feet. Up.
What are you going to do?
Throw it over her shoulders. I'll go down first and get the car door open. You follow her and keep your gun in her back.
Where are you taking me?
Out for a little fresh air, sweetheart.
The dark-haired girl left the envelope for me, and then the blonde girl picked it up?
Yeah, that's right, mister. Chicky.
Steps leading up to the building. Looks pretty cool.
There was no sense in leaving it here.
I see. How long ago was this?
Oh, I'd say 15, 20 minutes ago.
Thanks a lot.
Say, are you the Clark Kent writes for the Daily Planet?
Yes, that's right.
Well, what do you know? You know, I'd like to ask you something, Mr. Kent.
I'm sorry, but I haven't time now. Some other time, maybe.
Oh, okay. Well, drop by again.
Yeah, sure thing. Looks like the lid's blown off this thing, and just when we were... Great Scott!
Ducking into an alley, Clark Kent looks on in tense amazement as he watches Laura forced into the back of a dark green sedan, obviously at gunpoint. His first instinct is to go to her rescue, but he restrains himself.
Can't start any trouble on the street.
Lots of pumpkins on this one.
Front-page story and a tip-off to
In the
Denelli.
gate.
I'll have to follow them wherever they go as Superman.
Almost before the sedan has pulled away from the curb, Kent has made the transformation from the conservative business suit of a newspaper crime reporter to the brilliant red and blue costume of Superman. Leaping high into the air, the only human being on Earth who numbers among his other amazing powers the power of flight follows the dark green sedan as it turns a corner and heads for the outskirts of the city. 20 minutes later, in the darkening dusk of early evening, the car pulls into a narrow side road and comes to a stop.
Okay, this is it.
Get out.
No, please, don't kill me. I'll tell you everything.
It's too late now. Get out.
Please.
Come on, sister.
No.
Out you go.
Stop it.
You stay in the car, Chicky.
Right, but make it fast.
Go of my arms. Let go, I said. All right, sister, say your prayer.
Can't stand this guy.
I
I want to beat the crap out of him.
Where did you come from?
Out of the blue. Don't move, Laura.
Let him have it, Bobo.
Try it again, Bobo.
Nothing happens.
Watch what happens now.
Don't let her get away. She's got the letters and the picture in her handbag.
Oh, not so fast, Chicky.
Go of me, you big ape.
Here's the bag, Laura. Hold on to it.
You'll pay for this. You just wait. Let go.
Get up to the main road, Laura, and flag the first car that comes along. Tell them to send the police back here in a hurry.
Okay. You got no right to do this.
Let's not discuss right and wrong, Chicky. Just tell me one thing. Where's Tony Dinelli?
How should I know?
If you don't, who does? And you better tell me before the police get here, because when they do, it'll be too late.
I didn't do nothing.
Dinelli murdered a man, and you shielded him. You're an accessory. Would you like to spend 10 years behind bars? For what? A cheap punk who turned his mother in to save his own skin? Think it over, Chicky. I can make it easier for you if you play along.
Yeah, sure. I can believe that.
You can believe it. Well?
You know where he is. She saw the letters.
Morganuk?
I'm not saying any more.
Okay, that's enough.
There's a state police barracks 2 miles down the road. The man said he'd notify them.
Good girl.
Oh, but what's the use of all this now? It's too late.
Too late for what?
It's almost 6 o'clock. We can't get to Pennsylvania and back in time to save Charlie.
We can't, but I can. Oh, your man must have passed a patrol car on the road. Here they come. Here, give me those letters and the picture. Hurry. I don't want to waste time with explanations. You'll have to tell them what happened.
Yeah. Do you really think...
Don't worry. Pick up the gun her gorilla friend dropped and hold it on Chicky until the police get here. Have you got it?
Yes.
Okay, they're here. So long, and keep your chin up.
Leaping into the now darkened sky, the man of steel hovers for a moment above the narrow side road until he is certain the police are on the scene. Then, turning in midair, he heads north, almost with the speed of light, racing against the grim specter of death. Hours later, in his guise of Clark Kent, he picks up Tony Dinelli's trail at a bar and grill in the coal mining town of Morganuk. But now time is precious. It is 10:30, and Johnny Weber's execution is scheduled for 11. Every minute counts. The trail finally leads to a cheap rooming house at the edge of town. Once more in his true role, Superman knocks at Tony Dinelli's door.
Open up, Dinelli. I know you're in there. Open up or I'll come in and get you. All right, if that's the way you want it, here goes. No time for horseplay, and anyway, I want that gun. It's probably the one you used to murder Walter Silsby. Just to make sure you don't give me any trouble on the trip back to Metropolis, here's a little sleeping pill. Now to the state prison, but fast.
I'm sorry, Superman, but there's nothing I can do about it.
But they've got an innocent man in that execution room. This man is the murderer.
That may be, but the only one who can stop it now is the governor, and there's no time.
But I tell you...
They're strapping him into the chair right now. They'll be pulling the switch at 11 sharp. Just 1 minute.
There must be a way. There's got to be. Wait a minute. Yes, there is. Here, watch this punk for me. I'll be back.
Racing into the prison yard, Superman's sharp eyes penetrate the darkness. In a split second, find what they want, the power lines running from the prison's electric generators. Leaping off the ground, he grips the heavily insulated wires in his hands, rips them apart as though they were cotton thread. There's a shower of sparks and a great hissing and crackling as the severed wires writhe and twist like tortured snakes. And the entire prison is plunged into merciful, life-giving darkness.
Well, Laura, Johnny, how does it feel to be married people?
It feels wonderful, Mr. Kent.
Did the chat freeze up, or are you guys just
And
listening?
Superman. Yes, don't forget
Just
Superman.
checking.
You know, I was a little worried that the warden and the governor would be furious about those power lines being ripped apart, but they weren't.
It's too bad Superman isn't here so we could thank him personally.
Well, Johnny, I'll tell you, he really is here.
Is he?
Where?
Or shall we say, in spirit.
And so ends 1 Minute to Death on The Adventures of Superman, which come to you now each week at this same time over many of these ABC stations. Superman is a copyrighted transcribed feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Okay, Superman. That wasn't exciting. It wasn't very exciting, that one. You know, each episode is different. I don't know. I was wondering if Chad is dead. I don't know what happened, you guys. Just listening. As I build, I'm trying to get all these little tiny things put together here. Let's listen to Raj wanted to hear Hands of Death, the sealed book. A little bit of horror here, so here we go. Hands of Death. Enjoy. Raj.
The sealed book.
Once again, the keeper of the book is ready to unlock the ponderous volume in which is recorded all the secrets and mysteries of mankind through the ages, all the lore and learning of the ancients, all the strange and mystifying stories of the past, the present, and the future.
It's all the cemetery stuff I'm building in the front here now. I just got that, Chad.
Keeper of the book, what tale will you tell us this time?
First, I must unlock the great padlock, which keeps the sealed book safe from prying eyes. Now, what story shall I tell you? I have here tales of every kind. Tales of murder, of madness, of dark deeds, and of events strange beyond all belief. There. Now let me see. Yes. Here's a tale for you. A dark story of two brothers. One of them killed because he could not help himself. The other one was interested in murder too, but in a very different way. The title of the tale is The Hands of Death. Here is the tale as it is written in the sealed book. It began in San Francisco on a night of thick, suffocating fog. A young man hurrying homeward turns a corner and bumps abruptly into a huge figure striding toward him.
Oh, excuse me. Fog is so thick I didn't see you.
It's all right. Tell me, do you live here? Here in San Francisco?
Why, yes, I do.
Do you know where Edward Morlock lives now?
Why, no, I never heard of him. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Wait.
But I've really got to get home.
I just want a light from your cigarette.
Oh, of course. Here, I'll hold it for you.
Just hold it like that. What is it? What's the matter?
Nothing. It's nothing.
It's my hands, isn't it? They frightened you.
No, it's nothing.
My hands, they disgusted you.
No, of course not.
They frightened you because they're not like other people's hands.
No, let go of me. I assure you that...
You thought I was a freak?
Let go of me. You're crazy.
I'm not crazy, do you hear? I'll show you.
No.
I'll show you.
Phantom strangler in San Francisco. Victim killed in fire. X-ray.
So, the Phantom Strangler is at work in San Francisco. Jennings will be interested in that.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Morlock.
Huh? Oh, yes, Jennings?
The postman just brought this package, sir.
Oh, package, eh? Give it to me.
Yes, sir.
Now wheel me over to the window.
Of course, sir.
This is close enough, Jennings. This package, I suppose you noticed it came from my agent in New York?
Yes, sir, I did.
Then perhaps you can guess what's in it. Hey, Jennings?
No, sir, but I have no doubt it's another nice addition to your collection of objects having to do with famous murders, sir.
Yes, indeed, a nice addition. But speaking of murders, have you seen this morning's San Francisco paper yet?
No, sir.
Well, look at these headlines. Read them out loud.
Playboy murdered in fog. Phantom strangler breaks victim's neck. Then he's back. Your brother Kane is back.
Yes, back in San Francisco, looking for me.
And he'll keep looking for you. And if he finds you, he'll kill you.
Yes, he's dedicated his life to that purpose. And all because he feels I cheated him out of his share of the money our father left us. Oh, it's a great pity.
Yes, sir. Of course, we know the truth.
Quite so. As you say, we know the truth. However, I hardly think Kane will find me here.
No, sir.
So we'll forget about him. Jennings, tomorrow afternoon, a neighbor's dropping in for tea.
A neighbor, sir?
Yes, Inspector Tennant, the head of the local police force. He's coming to view my little collection.
Of course, sir.
He may bring a friend with him. So have plenty of everything?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's all. What are you waiting for?
Excuse me, sir. I wanted to speak to you about this check you gave me yesterday for my month's salary.
Well, what about it? It's for the usual 500, isn't it?
Yes, sir, but you see, Mr. Morlock, I've been thinking in these times I ought to have more.
More? Just how much do you consider your services worth, Jennings?
Shall we say 1,000 a month?
1,000 a month?
It's quite reasonable, I think. After all, if I were to tell the authorities all I know about your father's will and how it happened that the entire fortune
That's
came
a lot
to
of money,
you and
man.
none to Kane.
Never mind, Jennings. I'll make out another check.
Thank you, sir.
But be careful you don't drive me too far, or you may regret it.
Oh, I think I'll be safe enough, Mr. Morlock. After all, confined to that wheelchair as you are, you need me.
That's enough. You'll get your check later.
Yes, sir. Very good, Mr. Morlock.
So you're getting greedy, are you, Jennings? I must find some way to discourage you. Yes, some way to discourage you.
The next afternoon, Edward Morlock, the strange, crippled collector of murder relics, enjoyed himself thoroughly playing host to Police Inspector Tennant and Mr. Norman Smith, a criminologist friend of his. He began by showing them his latest acquisition, the one that had come by mail just the day before.
And now, gentlemen, look. A cashmere shawl? Yes, but no ordinary cashmere shawl. Until last month, it was owned by two very old sisters who lived in a dingy house in Baltimore.
In Baltimore?
Yes.
You mean that's the shawl?
Exactly, gentlemen. That's the shawl with which the two old ladies were strangled by a sneak thief. Well, I'll be darned. It's a prize worthy even of my collection, which is, I flatter myself, the most complete of its kind ever assembled. Funny hobby, I'd call it. Every man to his taste, Inspector. Murder is your business, but it's my hobby. Now, if you'll just pull back those curtains there, The rest of my collection is on the shelves behind him.
These curtains?
That's right.
Well, I'll be jiggered.
This is most interesting, Mr. Morlock.
Yes, I knew you'd think so. Look there on the wall. An authentic headsman's axe. It was used in the brutal murder of the Baron de Morlaix, an ancestor of mine in the 15th century. And right there below it is the blood-stained dress worn by one of the victims of Jack the Ripper. And on the next shelf, you see... And so there, gentlemen, you have the highlights of my collection. How do you like them?
Well, if that's the sort of thing you're interested in, I'll say your collection does seem complete.
It is indeed. In fact, there's really nothing missing except perhaps a murderer and a victim.
What did you say?
That the only thing missing from your collection is a murderer and a victim.
A most interesting thought, Mr. Smith. And after all, why not?
Why not what?
Oh, excuse me, Inspector. I was just thinking out loud.
Oh. Well, I'm afraid we got to go now, Morlock. Eh, Smith?
Yes, you're right, Inspector.
It's been a great pleasure having you, gentlemen. And I do hope you'll call again.
Yes, Mr. Morlock, you rang.
Yes, Jennings. Before you help me to bed, I want you to mail these letters.
Yes, sir.
They're to major newspapers in San Francisco and contain a message to be inserted in their personal columns.
A message?
Yes, to my brother Kane. We used to communicate this way in the past.
But, what?
Here is a copy of the message. You may read it.
If the gentleman with the unusual hand will visit his brother in Santa Villa, he will learn something to his advantage. You're inviting him here?
Exactly.
You've decided to play safe, to trap him and turn him over to the police?
Oh, that's clever of you, Jennings. Yes, very clever. But you've already proved you're clever, haven't you? Now just take these letters out and mail them, and soon, quite soon, I think, we shall be seeing my dear brother Kane again.
Now I gotta do the other side. Patience, patience. Hey, Fluff Check. Hey, Connie.
And now for the rest of my story. The hand of death, as it is written in the sealed book. After Edward Morlock had put into effect his plan to bring his brother Kane to him, he sat in his wheelchair and waited. seeming much amused at some secret thought of his own. One day passed, then 2, then 3, and then the newspapers carried strange new headlines.
Extra, read all about it. Phantom Strangler in Los Angeles.
Extra,
read all
extra.
about it.
So Brother Kane was in Los Angeles last night, Jennings. He's getting closer. I shouldn't be surprised if he arrived here tonight.
I don't like it.
Oh, nonsense, Jennings. You know you've got nothing to fear from Kane. Unless, of course, you're so careless as to make some remark about his hands.
I know, but he intends to kill you.
I think I'll be able to control him. I want you to bring me a glass of milk. Kane is very fond of milk.
Glass of milk?
With a triple dose of sleeping powder in it.
But I don't understand.
Never mind. Just do as I say.
What's that?
I imagine that's Kane now.
Kane? Here, already?
Quick. I'll let him in. You get that glass of milk ready. And bring it in when I ring.
Yes, sir. When you ring, sir.
Oh, come in, Kane. I've unlocked the window.
Yes, I'll come in, Edward. Now that I've found you at last.
Well, I'd hardly say you found me, Kane. I sent for you.
It's the same thing. Now I'm where I can put my hands around your throat at last. I'm going to kill you. Do you hear? Kill you.
Kane, sit down.
What?
Sit down. I want to talk to you.
All right, I'll sit down, but you can't change my mind.
Tell me, Kane, how many people have you killed since you got out of the penitentiary?
7.
7 murders?
They looked at my hands. They were disgusted. I didn't kill them. My hands did. You hear? I didn't want to kill them, but my hands killed them anyway.
Why, of course, I understand. Your hands. Your great-grandfather had hands like yours, you know, Kane.
Don't talk about it anymore.
Of course not, Kane. But you must be hungry. I'll ring for Jennings. He'll fix something for you.
Yes, I am hungry.
But please, Kane, don't startle the poor fellow. You know, he's very much afraid of you.
Why? Why is he afraid of me?
It's your hands. He says they give him nightmares.
My hands give him nightmares?
Oh, you mustn't blame him, Kane. He can't help it.
My hands give him nightmares.
Yes, sir. I brought you a glass of milk, Mr. Morlock.
My hands frighten
Oh,
me.
thank you, Jennings. Just put it down here.
Yes, sir.
Why are you looking at me like that, Jennings?
I'm not looking at you, Mr. Kane.
You're looking at my hands. They upset you. They give you nightmares.
No, Mr. Kane, that's not true.
I'll show you. I'll give you a reason to be afraid of my hands.
Mr. Morlock, help me.
I'll show you. I'll show
Let go, you're
you.
kidding. Help.
There. That'll teach you to be afraid of my hands.
You can let him go now, Kane.
He's dead. My hands, they've killed again.
Yes, he's dead. Oh, you've been very wicked, Kane.
I didn't want to kill him. My hands did it. My hands, you hear?
You must be quiet now, Kane. You must rest.
I didn't want to kill him.
Here, drink this milk. Then lie down and rest for a while. We'll talk some more in the morning.
All right. I'll drink it.
I'll take care of everything.
Ah.
That's right, Kane. Lie back and sleep. Sleep soundly. So you would blackmail me, would you, Jennings? And you would kill me, would you, Kane? But I've been too clever for both of you. Hello. Hello, police headquarters. Connect me with Inspector Tennant, please. I want to report a murder. And so, there you are, Inspector. Kane was in the penitentiary for assault with intent to kill. Apparently, he escaped since then. He's been seeking for me, meaning to kill me.
Good heavens, Morlock. Then he's the strangler who's been doing all these killings.
Yes, I'm afraid so. Oh, and I never guessed until he showed up tonight to kill me, because he thought, you see, quite wrongly, that I had cheated him of his inheritance. Jennings bravely came to my rescue, and Kane throttled him. Then I tricked Kane into drinking some drugged milk, and...
It's Moida, I tell you, it's Moida.
Well, there you are.
But why, man? Why? Why did he kill all these people?
Because of his hands.
His hands?
Well, you saw his hands. Tremendously strong. Not hands at all, really, but more like demon's claws. Kane is morbidly sensitive about his deformity. When he feels someone is frightened by his hands, he kills them. Just like that.
Oh, it's a good thing we got him at last.
You can take him along now quite safely, but be sure to keep him well locked up, Inspector, and don't let anyone get within reach of his hands.
A few weeks later, Kane Morlock entered the lethal chamber of the state penitentiary. Edward Morlock, the condemned man's invalid brother, was one of the few spectators. Kane Morlock, with his last breath, cursed his brother and swore that someday he would be avenged. Then he died. The following day, Inspector Tennant and his friend Norman Smith paid Edward Morlock another visit.
Oh, good evening, Inspector and Mr. Smith. It's very kind of you to stop by tonight.
We dropped in to see how you were making out, Mr. Morlock. Thought maybe, what with your trip yesterday and the shock, that perhaps...
Oh, no, I'm quite all right, thank you. What must be, must be. You see, I'm a philosopher.
You have somebody looking after you?
Yes, Philippe, a Filipino boy, is taking poor Jennings' place. Oh, and, gentlemen, that reminds me. I have something here that will interest you.
Mm-hmm. Something that'll interest us?
Yes, here on the table beside me. This jar.
Oh, a burial urn, isn't it, Mr. Morlock?
Exactly. And in this burial urn are the ashes of poor murdered Jennings.
Jennings' ashes?
Yes.
You mean you're going to keep them with you?
But of course, gentlemen. I was very fond of Jennings, very fond. What more fitting than that I should keep his ashes to remind me of his years of faithful service? Besides, well, I can always look upon them as part of my little collection.
Your collection?
Yes, Inspector. It was Mr. Smith here who pointed out that, complete as it was, it lacked both a murderer and his victim. Well, here are the ashes of the victim.
Great heavens.
That's rather a unique item, Mr. Morlock.
Yes, indeed, an item any collector would be proud of. But the really choice addition to my collection is here in this box, which just arrived. Would you care to look at it, gentlemen?
What in the world?
Now, you needn't guess. I'll lift the lid and, see.
Merciful heavens.
A pair of hands. The hands of your brother Kane.
Exactly.
I can't believe it.
But what is so strange about it, gentlemen? There are the ashes of a murder victim. Here are the unique and terrible hands that throttled him. Where in all the world will you find a collector who can boast such items as these?
You must be mad.
Morlock, did you plan all this from beginning to end?
Plan it? Mr. Smith, but how could I?
You're quite mad. We could never prove it.
You could prove nothing. Nothing.
Inspector, I think we'd better go.
Yes. Come on, let's get out of here before I do something I'd regret.
Call again any time, gentlemen. Easily upset, weren't they, Kane? Upset by your hands. Your great, strong hands that are going to become the prize items of my little collection. The distorted hands of a murderer. Ooh, how cold they are. And yet I can almost feel the murderous strength in them still. You wanted so bad that you'd close your hands about my throat, didn't you, Kane? But it's too late now. You're dead. And your hands are dead, too. Lifeless. Would you like to see how your hands look at my throat here? I'll place them there for you. See how nicely they fit around my neck. Just as if they... No! No!
Let go of me. Your hands, they're choking me. I can't breathe.
Warlock, what is it? Where are you?
Inspector, look. They're on the floor.
Good Lord. It's Morlock. And... No, it can't be. His brother's hands are clutched around his throat. They've strangled him.
And that is the story of the Hands of Death, as it is written in the sealed book. Edward Morlock was quite dead when they found him, with his brother's severed hands about his throat. But they called his death heart failure. For who would believe that two dead hands by themselves could wreak the vengeance that Cain Morlock swore to have before he died? And perhaps it was heart failure. Perhaps Edward Morlock, thinking he felt the hands move, died of sheer terror. You'll have to decide for yourself which is true. The answer is not written here. But the sound of the great gong tells me I must lock the book once again.
One moment, Keeper of the Book. What story from the sealed book will you tell us next time?
Next time? Are you sure you want to know? Perhaps my next story will be about you. For I have here all the stories that ever happened, and many that have not yet come to pass. But I'll find one for you in just a moment.
No, that was a pretty good story. One of the better ones. Peter Lorre, what was it? The Hands of Ottermole, I think. Anyways, yeah, this is coming together good. It's just very tedious because there's a lot of little bitty parts. Building the steps. The gate is here now, and the little wall on each side. It takes time to do those little details, but they look really, really good. Yeah, I'm on to bag 9. So it's 8 o'clock. I think I will, let's see. Yeah, I'll go a little bit longer. I'll try to finish bag 9. And yeah, I think bag 9 is going to be the first floor of the building. So that is pretty cool. Gong Show was silly but funny. Yes, it was. The Great Gong. The Gong Show. I'm going to play... I feel like, you know what? I'm just going to play this one. Crime Classics. Good evening. My name is Jack the Ripper from 1954. Here we go.
Good evening. This is Crime Classics. I am Thomas Hyland with another true story of crime. Listen. A man walking along a cobbled street in Whitechapel. It's an April evening, and a pleasant one. A spring rain has just finished, and the street lamps spread skins of light over the wetted pavements. Stroll. Nowhere in particular. Hanbury Street is as good as any other. But look there. The young woman waiting.
Well, look who it is, won't you? If it ain't old saucy you hisself. Pleasant night, ain't it? Walking, were you? I walk along with you won't mind. I like April, don't you? And the rain makes everything fresh and nice, don't it? Oh, now there's a pretty garden, ain't it? Flowers already...
Tonight, my report to you on Good Evening. My name is Jack the Ripper.
Crime Classics, a series of true crime stories taken from the records and newspapers of every land from every time. Your host each week, Mr. Thomas Hyland, connoisseur of crime, student of violence, and teller of murders. Now, once again, Mr. Thomas Hyland.
Teller of murders.
The year was 1888, and the place was London. The first murder had taken place on April 3rd and was not
making a
reported
Christmas
in
tree.
the London Times. The woman's name was Emma Elizabeth Smith, and she had blonde hair.
I have blonde hair, too.
The second murder took place not far from the first, near the Groveyard buildings in Whitechapel. The woman's name was Martha Tabram, and the police noted that she died exactly the same way as Emma Elizabeth Smith. Horribly, by knife. To be noted, Martha had blonde hair, too, and her eyes were dark.
My eyes are dark, too, and I have blonde hair.
Third murder, August 31st, Bucks Row, also in Whitechapel. Horribly, by knife, died Ann Nichols. To be noted, Ann had blonde hair, and her eyes were dark, and there was a gaiety about her.
I've dark eyes, and my hair is blonde.
It's kind of
My
creepy.
name's Mary Jane Kelly.
And you
Kind of
want
creepy.
a room, dearie?
Hey, Sean.
Yes, I do.
You come with me, then. Pretty room for a pretty girl. Where are you from, dearie?
Well, I was born in Limerick, and 16 when I went to Wales.
Now you've come to London.
I've been to Paris.
And now you've come to London. What for?
I've been all over.
And how many places the police looking for you, dearie?
Whatever do you say?
Ah, pretty like you, and a room like this.
Oh, I don't
Christmas
mind.
tree.
Is there a way to come through?
Through the back.
Oh, well, this will do nice.
The neighborhood in which Mary Jane Kelly found a room may be best described as a slum. Rows of poor lodging houses dedicated to the proposition that it is more difficult to find a criminal in a swarm. Mary's room number, oddly enough, was 13.
I never was a superstitious kind. Just to have fun. That's all I like. Live and have fun.
The room itself was a straw mattress and a chair to fling one's clothes over. Now, at this instant, this precise time when Mary Jane Kelly entered her room, 3 blocks away on Hanbury Street, you remember, a man walking along a cobbled street. April evening, after rain, stroll. But look there.
Well, look who it is, won't you?
Said the young woman who was waiting, whose name was Annie Chapman.
If it ain't old saucy you itself. Pleasant night, ain't it? Walk in, will you? I'll walk along with you won't mind. I like April, don't you? And the rain makes everything fresh and nice, don't it? Oh, now, there's a pretty garden, ain't it? Flowers already...
Dearie.
Yes?
I got a new roomer today.
Oh, that's nice.
A sailor boy.
Oh, that's nice.
With cheeks rosy from the sea.
Oh, that's nice.
And he asked me today, what's a sailor to do in Whitechapel for a little fun? What kind of fun, I asked, and he says, for a chap like me. And I gave him a wink and a push with my elbow, and he says, no, lady, no, that's not what I'm talking of. A good girl, a nice girl I'd like to meet.
Oh?
And he wears an earring in his ear, and he comes from the West Indies, he says, and he comes to live here with a sea chest. I put him in room 12.
Oh, why, that's just across the hall from me.
Oh, yes. I peeked in a minute ago, and the lad's having a sleep. Not more than 17 years. Rosy cheeks. He keeps his sea chest under his bed. Well, dearie?
The chest is locked.
Ain't that a shame? Oh, my. Another
Another what?
murder.
Who?
Her name was Anne Chapman, the papers say, yes?
Did you know her?
If she was in these parts for some time, I know her. By whatever name.
Read me more what it says.
Her throat was cut.
Ooh.
She was lying close up against the wall, and her eyes staring ahead.
Ooh.
It says here.
What else?
And her rings were torn from her fingers. Oh, but laid out real neat alongside her.
Horrid.
And it says here that man that did in Anne Chapman did in the other three. Same way of killing, it says here.
Oh, what kind of man would do killings like that?
That kind of man that did it. There's all kinds, you should know.
What
Hey,
else
it's like my,
It says they've named
gonna have to pause
him.
a second. It's like my eye from the streams is on the front door. How you like that? That was pretty good. Like that.
Oh, they've named him the Ripper.
Robbie's a nice name.
I'm glad you like it.
A sweet and innocent name.
Thank you. Why are you laughing?
Oh, here you sail the 7 seas, and look where we walk to, the Thames River. Why, I should imagine you were a sailor and come home from a long voyage. You wouldn't want to come so near to water again.
I'd walk with you wherever.
Oh, now.
I would, too.
Tell me a thing, Robbie.
Oh, I want to.
Where you come from, and what's your home?
From Boston.
Oh,
Later,
such a lad
Stephanie.
to be so far away.
I'm 17, and all my life I've been wanting to sail.
Hey, let's sit here, Robbie.
Aye. It's truly remarkable.
What is?
A fair lady like you should be sitting next to me.
Oh, I like you, Robbie. Robbie?
Yes.
How did you come to Whitechapel?
Oh, it's where the cheapy rooms are.
Don't you have no money?
Not what you'd call money.
Don't understand you.
Well, things I bought in the Indies with money.
Oh.
A pearl or two and some other stones and coral things. You ought to see I've got my sea chest filled with all... But I'd like
Hush. You shouldn't say, Robbie. You shouldn't trust nobody. Why, there's thieves and thieves and thieves. Come along fast as you would never think and take your key to your sea chest right from wherever.
Oh, they wouldn't do that. There's thieves and thieves and thieves. But they couldn't rob my key from me because I got it right here.
Oh, kiss me, Robbie.
What?
Kiss me.
Yes. Oh, Mary, you're so wonderful.
As she was lifting his key from wherever. Now, at this instant, at this precise time, when Mary Jane Kelly was kissing an apprentice seaman and making a sailor out of him, up from the London docks and north a mile away, Whitechapel, this was happening at midnight on Berner Street.
Oh, where do you go, Letty-O? Where do you go,
sweet lad, when you go away from me.
Elizabeth Stride, blonde hair, dark eyes, a melancholy kind of gaiety.
You want to hear another verse, lovey?
She said to the man she's met a little while ago.
Hey there, Orange. Good to see you, bud.
Do you go
Crows.
to thee, sweet lad, when you go away from...
You are listening to Crime Classics and your host, Thomas Hyland. A network already famous for reliable and frequent news coverage, CBS Radio, adds an even dozen new newscasts to its schedule starting this coming Saturday. Hear Alan Jackson with the news. 3 new roundups in your Saturday daytime schedule. Listen for Robert Trout with 4 new strategically spaced Sunday roundups. And listen Monday through Friday nights for reports by Robert Trout, too, on most of these same stations. 12 new broadcasts of news starting this Saturday add to CBS Radio's already wide margin for top reporting first. And now, once again, Thomas Hyland and the second act of Crime Classics and his report to you on Good Evening, my name is Jack the Ripper.
With regards the murders in Whitechapel, the coroner had this to say, and I quote, "I am afraid there will be more murders just like these 4. These women were slain by a man who knows considerable about anatomy. That being the case, a madman is probably at large." Unquote. If this sounds like a non sequitur to you, it sounds like one to me, too. My guess is that the coroner was shaky about the whole thing. Certainly all of London was. And the morning after the night of the knife and Elizabeth Stride, the conversations in Miller's Court went something like this.
Elizabeth Stride, I can't believe it.
Did you know her?
No. Know her? Know her, she asked me.
How well?
She worked for me.
Worked for you?
Well, you can call it that if you has to. She helped me to pay for her lodgings. Moved away only last month, she did.
What was she like?
Blondie she was, yellow hair.
I have yellow hair.
Oh, not so yellow as yours. And she had dark eyes.
Oh, my eyes are dark, too.
Oh, less brown than yours, hers was. Oh, she was a laugher, she was. Why are you laughing?
Oh, look at the skin on my arm now. Chilled, and for no reason. Martha.
What, dearie?
Oh, I'm silly to fright. But those 4 of them. Blonde hair and...
You're silly to fright. None so pretty as you, nor as young. Tell me.
What?
Was there truly a pearl in the sailor's sea chest?
Ah, was letters from his mother in Boston. Nothing else.
Oh, you mean Fox, did he? Sweet and innocent he was, and rosy-cheeked, and now he's off to sea again.
Good morning, ladies. I said good morning to you.
I'm running respectable lodgings, officer, and there's no reason why you should be coming in here.
Marthy, love, keep your shirt on. Well, who's this pretty one with you, Marthy? Who's she?
Pinch her cheek and get done with it, officer. And tell us what you're doing here.
Pretty. What's your name?
Mary Jane Kelly.
Mary Jane Kelly. Ain't you afraid, Mary?
Afraid of what?
Why, Jack the Ripper.
Sir.
Yes, Mary.
Truly, is there such a one?
As surely as I'm standing here. A monster of some sort.
Well, he ain't here, so skedaddle. medal.
He's written on the wall that he's going to kill 16 more before he's done.
Ooh.
Girl officer Thick's about, pretty. That's me, so don't you fright.
What do you want here? You ain't told us that.
Questions?
Of what?
I'm told that the girl that met the Ripper last night, Elizabeth Stride, she was. I'm told she lived here. I'm told she worked here.
And?
I thought maybe you could answer me then if she had a man friend. Special, that is.
Elizabeth? Betty? Men? Oh, no, not Elizabeth. Not Betty. Oh, no.
You're sure now?
I'd swear on my dear Aunt Anna's grave.
Then what of you, pretty?
Oh, I'm new to London, sir.
Oh, now don't you let this Ripper fella fright you.
No, sir. Not with you about.
Ah, that's my girl. That's my girl, all right, ain't you? Ain't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like the suspense of this
Mary?
episode.
Mary?
What is it?
Open up quick, Mary. Oh, Mary.
Whatever's the matter?
Come quick. Come with me quick.
Where to?
He's got his door open a little bit, and he's sitting there, and I want you to take a look at him.
Who are you talking about?
The new roomer. He just arrived.
Oh, no.
Come, take a look. Quiet now. We'll take a peek at him. Oh, handsome man as he sits there and reads his book. Quiet now. See him. See him.
Oh, my.
Now, quickly, before he gets up and sees us, gets us away from here. Oh, he is handsome, isn't he?
I suppose.
You suppose? Handsomer than any about here?
I suppose. Listen, you love somebody, then they're handsomer than anything.
Love somebody?
Like I love Officer Thomas Thick.
Love him?
With all my heart and soul.
Well, now. Well, now.
With all my heart and soul.
Couldn't you go talk to my new roomer a bit? For old time's sake. Welcome him, so to speak. He seems like a lonely man.
No.
No?
I'm to meet Officer Thick in a sec.
Truly?
Truly.
Well...
Thomas Thick. Now you got the money. Oh, just because you're a police officer, you don't have to be proud. Besides, I love you true.
Oh, you're a girl, Mary. You're truly a girl.
Don't you be proud. Let me be proud of you.
Come, I'll walk with you to...
What?
Wait here.
What is it, Thomas? What was it?
That drunken...
She screamed.
A trick. She's playing a trick. Like the Ripper was at her. She saw me walking with you and that drunken.
Oh, I don't say nothing too bad against her. Everybody lives here in these alleys. You forget what's funny and what's not funny.
No, you're a dear girl. Come, I'll walk you home.
You best leave me here, Thomas. I can walk the half of the block. Besides...
Besides what?
They laugh at me. The other one's at Martha's. That I'm walking with an officer. They say that's awful funny.
Well, I'll not let you walk alone. Not these times with Jack and his knife about.
He ain't done that thing he does for weeks now. So don't you worry. Here, give us a kiss, Thomas, and look for me tomorrow.
I wish you'd let me walk with you.
Just give us a kiss. Now, look for me tomorrow. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't see you. Well, you're the new roomer, ain't you? There at Martha's, ain't you? Well, good night. I'm laughing, sir, because I'm happy. And when I'm happy, I'm a girl to know. Oh, I don't know you, sir, but you appear to me a gentleman of uncommon worth. So if I say to you, let's find a pub... Oh!
Murder. Murder most foul. The sixth, Catherine Eddowes, found in a footpath in Mitre Square, lying on her back, head inclined to the left side. Her throat had been cut. Other lacerations indicated great anatomical skill by the killer. Jack the Ripper had slain his sixth victim, and London was washed again against the heights of terror. A hysteria took hold. Fingers were pointed, and Jack the Ripper shouted, and innocent men would be stoned. And Whitechapel was caught up in an orgy of self-guilt.
It's a fiend from hell that's loose among us.
Martha.
And Judgment Day's closing down on us.
I can't find
and
him.
the night of witches and beasties is nigh. Maybe even this very night.
I've looked all over, and I can't find him.
What are you babbling? Why are you standing there babbling?
Thomas Thick is no longer in Whitechapel.
What do you mean?
He was seen going about with me, and they took him from Whitechapel to another place, and I can't find him.
Oh, dearie. Oh, dearie, that's not so bad, is it?
But I loved him.
And gave him your money.
What of it?
And he took it. Mary.
What?
The new rumor. Oh, what gentleman. Now, there's one for you. See how he stands outside there on the stoop, the way he smokes a cigar. A true gentleman.
Oh, what of it?
He's lonely.
What of it?
Well, can't you tell he's lonely?
Why should I care?
And you're lonely, too.
Yes, I am.
Then go to him. Talk to him. He's looked at you. I know he has.
Such a handsome one.
And he's looked at you.
Oh, has he now?
I swear on my Aunt Anna's grave.
Has he now? Does my hair look all right?
Softy gold.
Truly?
Truly. And your eyes so dancing dark. Enjoy, dearie.
Hello. Isn't it a lovely night? So warm for November. Spring, really. I love walking. Oh, not so quickly, please. You take such long steps. Oh, I'm chilly. It's not warm at all. Oh, let's go back to my room. I'll fetch a coat or whatever. I must tell you, Martha said a thing. You know Martha. She said you were looking at me. Oh, no. If we go down the alley here, we can go in the back way. Well, I'll tell you. I've been looking at you. Right down there. I've put some pictures up on my wall. Oh, you'll like them, I know. Ah, right in here. Thank you. Now, I'll just light the lamp. Oh, would you not...
The seventh, the last, the greatest unsolved crime in history. The year was 1888, and it's generally considered that Jack the Ripper was a very young man, and it's thought that he ran away to America. So that spry old gentleman over there carving so deftly the roast, spooning out the kidney pie. Or that one there whittling. Or the one there, silver-haired, a fine surgeon by day. Well, I'm just pointing out the possibility, that's all.
In just a moment, Thomas Hyland. Jack the Ripper, tonight's crime classic, was adapted from the original newspaper accounts by Morton Fine and David Friedkin. The music was composed and conducted by Bernard Herrmann, and the program is produced and directed by Elliott Lewis. Thomas Hyland is portrayed on radio by Lou Merrill. In tonight's story, Betty Harford was heard as Mary and D.J. Thompson as Martha. Featured in the cast were Irene Tedrow, Ben Wright, Paula Winslow, James McCallion, and Richard Peel. Roy Rowan speaking. And here again is Thomas Hyland.
Ladies and gentlemen, on Tuesday next, I begin a world cruise, during which time I will reestablish my friendships with antiquarians, historians, and police officers throughout the world. This commitment makes it necessary for me to conclude this present series of crime classics, effective with this broadcast. I hope to return in time to resume the series in the fall. Thank you, and good night.
Everybody has at least one day in a lifetime like you're going to hear about.
Well, there you go. I don't know. I really enjoyed that episode. Yeah, I mean, mood, atmosphere, story. I thought it was really good, well acted. Anyways, listen, I finished the first build, as you guys seen. I was going to take this till 9, but I'm going to... 2.5 hours is long enough for me. And I love this. This is going to be my favorite part of the build, I think. Maybe Jack and Sally on the hill, I don't know. But man, this has got 2 more levels to it. So this is awesome, man. I mean, look at that. This is going to be cool. This is going to make a really cool display piece with like a couple of my Nightmare Before Christmas toys next to it. So that's going to definitely be very cool. Oh, see, this is the best. Hi, Dino. Hi, all. Alani, what is going on? Good to see you. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm just stopping. I've been going for about 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. I started about 6, so I'm done. I probably will finish this bag up maybe later tonight, and then continue working on this. And you know, I'm hoping 3 streams should be good enough, but 3 or 4, whatever. But yeah, good to have each and every one of you guys here. Sally, yeah, I live on a hill. There you go. But it's good to have each and every one of you here. Please give a thumbs up. Please comment afterwards. There's a lot of other streams on the channel already. I do play some old-time radio shows during the build. So yeah, that's it. After I'm completed with this set, I will get real up and close to the inside and all the details and all that. I do try showing you guys as close up as I can as I'm working on it and while I'm working at it. Look at even Jack. I mean, Jack looks... Oh, I love that Jack. Who knew I would be in love with these little minifigures? They are just so frickin' cool. There's Looney Tunes set. I want the Looney Tunes set. I should put it in my Amazon wish list. Not that I'm going to get it, but I want those in the Muppet Show minifigs. So I'm going to put them up on my Amazon wish list because I really want those. Yeah, anyways, overnight tonight on the Late Late Horror Show channel, CBS Radio Mystery Theater all night long. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. I haven't been doing Midday Macabre, but you know what? As soon as October 1st hits again, I think I jumped the gun and did it a little too early. But we have a week of Midday Macabre that was on there that I uploaded, but maybe October 1st I'll start that back up. But anyways, thank you guys. Please, again, thumbs up, comments, all that good stuff, and I'll see you at the Late Late Horror Show tonight. And me and Dave tomorrow. You can't miss that. Me and Dave tomorrow night, Sunday Night Live, when we always do our streams. Kolchak